Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tavern. Scottie's back on fire again, and it's open week. Let's get ready for Father's Day. Let's get into it. I'm just going to start by saying my son is over in the next room working on his putting and chipping. He's 3. This is what he wants to do right now. So
my youngest is about to get grounded the week of his birthday. So there's that. So yeah.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, how was your weekend?
It was good. We went to we took the kids for their birthday. We went to Hollywood Studios and they built the droid.
Nice.
Which is never a bad thing. Cool experience if you're ever down here in Orlando. Cool idea. And then I played a little golf on Sunday. Worked on increasing my handicap and then elevating my handicap. That's all I did. So
working for those
what about you?
Events.
What'd you do?
Your handicap up there? Had a good weekend.
Maybe. I mean, just saying.
So we got a new car, so that was a fun weekend. Watching Scottie win again.
Oh, that sounds miserable. Like the car buying experience. Like
it was actually not bad. The dealership that we go to, that we've gone to here for a while, treat us really well. So shout out to them. It's when you find that a good relationship at a dealership, it's a good thing to have, and they've treated us very well over the years. So we're happy to go back to them. So from a customer service standpoint that we've all worked in for years, that's what we look for. We look for that great customer service, and when you get it, you stick with them. So
hey, Desert Fox
getting into customer service.
Desert Fox wants to know, what did you get? So I don't know if he's talking about the droids. My kids built 2 R2 units. What car did you get?
we went with a Nissan. So
I'll just okay.
So
nice.
Good overall. Good weekend, but now hyped up for. I mean, we are the golfing dad, so hyped up for this weekend.
Yeah, really quick. Something we've talked about on here before. Out of the car, we played. Of course, you're familiar with, Greg, the reserve at Orange Lake.
Okay.
Out of the car, didn't hit any range balls. We played the white tees. I was playing with a couple guys, and like, let's play the white tees, and I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. Yawn. First hole to the flag was a par 4. On the card, it said it was 275. If you lasered it, it said it was 233. I hit dark speed 2 hybrid onto the green to 15 feet as my first swing of the day from 233.
Nice.
So, yeah. Good start to the day. 2-putt birdie. We like those. So better than the 3-putt par that we don't like. So yeah. But yeah, no, dark speed hybrids are, and we've talked about them before on here, unbelievably long and accurate and easy to hit. So yes, thank you.
So, I mean, and also, you're hitting that mindset too. So
I was right in that spot. Exactly. Right in that spot, you're putting that golf ball down right where it needs to be and just buttoning it every time. So
my son's out there. He handed this to me. He was practicing with it. I'm like, oh, I was going on the podcast, so he knew what golf ball to hand me. So
nice.
Great,
all he knows what he's doing. So that's awesome.
He does. So. And I'm gonna give a shout out to I'm drinking my buddy Eric out there. If he's watching, he knows where this came from. Thank you, Eric.
So does everybody else when you put that up there.
I know. I know. But I'm giving the shout out. That's from 21 from a golf trip. You can only get that in Pinehurst for them. So, all right, let's get into it. So I feel like this topic is never going away. This topic just keeps coming up, keeps coming back. This is our open preview show, but the underlying thing whenever we get to a major is LIV, the PGA, the PIF, and what's the future. So, Steve, you sent this out a little bit ago
Yep.
that there's been some kind of rumors going around lately. So let's talk about that a little bit. What did you find out earlier this afternoon?
So Alan Shipnuck, who is the guy that wrote the book, literally, is reporting that a prominent agent who has clients on both tours tells me a draft agreement was signed today between PGA Tour Enterprises and the PIF to finalize Saudi investment into the tour. This is definite progress, but the evil is in the details, which have not yet been leaked.
So where does this go from here? Like, because if you think about it, the PIF is just the financial backer for Live. They are the financial side.
Correct.
Gets all the money, gets all the players there. So is this going to be two things? Is this now over here? Does this dissolve PIF? These are all the questions that we still have no answer for.
Well, I mean, do I think that progress was going to be made? Progress needed to be made. It's been over a year now. And progress, I mean, they first outlined it and said December 31st, and they said the Masters, it was going to be done by the Masters. And now we're to the US Open and we're literally 12 months later. And I just struggle with the idea that again, it still hasn't gone through the whole congressional approval, which who knows what's going to happen in Washington, because that's just, again, they don't have a problem when
that's a dog and pony show. They're not
right. Well, they don't have a problem when the PIF puts money behind any of our oil companies or Boeing, but they have a problem when they want to invest in the PGA Tour. So
there's too much other stuff going on right now that's not
right.
that was a smoke and mirrors of the hot topic at the time. I think that's probably a part of why this has taken so long, is that they were waiting for it to be in the hotbed of the election and politics so that Congress and the Senate and every other politician is not going to be focusing on this.
I am the Senate.
So, wow. Going with the Star Wars reference there. I like it.
Darth Sidious. There we go.
But that's really where we're at with this. We don't know where.
There's Eric.
Oh, there
Eric,
he is.
Be safe getting back. Be safe.
I said I got my Woodford Pinehurst for you. So be safe getting back there. Eric sent me pictures starting on Monday from Pinehurst, and we'll get into that in happy hour. But really, with this, we have a long way to go. We think we're getting closer, but we still have such a long way to go. So I'm going to ask you this, Steve, because I have an answer for this too, because we don't have answers on what's going to happen. If you had the choice to say what goes from here, if it was up to you, what would you do from here out moving forward in professional golf in this scenario?
In this scenario, I think that the PGA Tour needs the money from the PIF, and I'll tell you why. They can't keep getting Jon Rahm to death.
That's true.
Can't. Like, at the end of the day, you can't keep getting Jon Rahm to death, and you need that money to compete. The money that they got from the Strategic Sports Group is good money. Don't get me wrong. 1.5 billion up front is good, and with the chance to get another 1.5. But all that money did was basically put into the fund for the players that they're giving the money back from a equity standpoint and an equity share standpoint. So I struggle with the idea that when you have, they're going to need that money if they want to do what they want to do. I honestly think the PGA Tour needs to look at their schedule and blow it up. Jack has already said he does not like his event being the week before the US Open. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of players that don't like to play the week before a major anyway. And again, we talked about this last week. Canada's in a crummy spot. Like, let's be real. Like, Canada just falls into, because of the way the schedule works and these guys don't want to play week in and week out. It falls into a spot that a lot of players, you're going to have to pick and choose where you're going to go. between the travel schedule, staying in hotels, and again, I don't feel bad for these guys. They play a professional sport for a living that we would all trade spots for. I just think that at the end of the day, the PGA Tour needs to really revamp and take a long, hard look at what they're doing with the schedule. They need to take a long, hard look at what they're trying to do from a how are we going to generate revenue? Because I still think the best part of PGA, but the best part of what the PGA Tour does is they give back. And that's been their long-standing.
But you have to understand that now with this deal, it is now two entities. It is the
Correct.
for-profit PGA, and there's still the non-profit PGA.
Right.
So,
but how are you also going to, and here's going to be the bigger argument. So you have TGL that's supposed to start up in January, February, right after the football playoffs.
I think it's January. It's like January.
So it's going to replace
February.
Into February. That's going to replace the Monday Night Football spot
on
ESPN. So you have this. You're asking the players to be in South Florida on Monday nights that are involved in this. So you have that entity of it. Of you've got to be in South Florida on Monday nights, and then you have this for-profit entity. You have the elevated events, or signature events that you're asking the players to be at. What else are you going to ask these players to show up for? Because at the end of the day, and let's be real, if you're asking the players to do all this, Live schedule is looking real nice right now for 14 weeks, and that's in the majors. Like that's what you got to.
I'm gonna jump into that because I think like we talked about this last week, and I think you kind of need that combination. I think some things that Live did right was kind of spreading their schedule out a little bit, but I think you just need to. You can have a event each week. We talked about this, but you need to look at that like signature event, major, and then maybe a team event that's in there too. Like spice it up a little bit, and you can have a week off. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything that's in there. I don't think you really need it, but I think you have those events where you might have those lesser known players that get a better chance than playing against Scottie versus the field. Yep. Let's be honest of what it is right now.
Right.
He's the only person that's done this in recent years is Tiger, win the way he has.
Funny, I've got a stat tonight. That
I figured you do.
So I'll hold that for happy hour. But yeah,
but with this, I think that you need to find that right balance between both on the schedule. You need to find that where you don't go from a signature event of Jack's right into a major. You go from a major right into a signature event at Harbortown.
Yeah.
Like
I don't mind the week. I don't mind the week after having a signature event.
I do.
No. So I'll tell you why I don't. You've already got these players playing and trying to peak for that week for the major. So you might as well try and capitalize on them playing at their best and piggyback onto that the following week. So I don't mind the week after.
Okay, I'll give you that if it's like Harbortown, where it's only a short ride from Augusta. But what I don't want to see is you go from Pinehurst and then go out to like Texas or the West Coast.
Well, they go to Travelers. They go to Connecticut after Pinehurst.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. You're still.
But if you were at Pebble Beach, and you had to come back across the country to play Hartford,
or last year you had to go from California, you had to go from LA Country Club all the way to Connecticut last year.
To Connecticut, yeah, correct.
So that's where they need to kind of look at this and look at what works out.
I want to say something you started when it was one of the first things you said in this, and it was talking about the Live schedule. I actually think part of Live's problem and the fact that they don't get recognized enough is their schedule, because they never get to a point where they're building any momentum in their schedule. Because sure, they play right before a major. Sure, they play in this, but they have too much time off. Like when you're only playing 14 weeks in events of 52 weeks during the year, people forget about you because you're not front and center. It's one of the things I think, and do I think the PGA Tour plays too much? There's a happy medium. But when you let's look at the Major League Baseball schedule, 162 games.
That's way too much.
Way too much. The NFL schedule is compact into 17 weeks. What is 19 weeks?
It's a 17 weeks blitz, pun intended.
Yeah, blitz. But then you look at like the NBA schedule, which starts at Halloween, and we're still in the NBA finals right now, or the NHL is the same way. Like there's got to be a happy medium in there. I just don't think Live with their scheduling and what they do they've done it right in trying to rest players. But I think the bigger problem that I have with their schedule is people forget about them. Like they're a forgotten entity.
I can only name
you can't find them on TV unless you have the CW.
Well, that's true, but I can only think about live events that I only know about is I think about Chicago just because it's my state neighbor, and that's the only reason I know about Chicago, and then Australia. That's the only other one because of how hyped that is over there. Other than that,
Correct.
I don't know when they play. I really don't. I
mean,
I
they
even
had the
follow
event
them
here
on social.
They had the event here in Orlando the week before the Masters last year. Brooks won it.
I knew that.
On a golf course.
I knew that because
but it was a golf course that you and I have played.
Exactly.
100,
I lived by that golf course.
You literally you could hit like driver from your house and hit there when you live down here. Like so, but at the end of the day, like they're not. And again, it's such a top heavy circuit in. Let's go down the list of guys that you really miss on the PGA Tour. Bryson, Cam Smith, Jon Rahm, Brooks.
I miss Phil. I do miss Phil.
Here's the thing, though, and I'm going to say this.
He's not going to make a difference. I get you. I miss Phil, and I'll see him this week.
Well, that's true too. Right. That's right. Dustin Johnson. And again, I miss Dustin. Like, I think DJ would be great out there. But there's really only 8 guys, maybe.
You don't miss
that you're like. Or Carlos Ortiz, who won this week, who didn't have a top 10, who went in and said that he's one of the best players in the world and should be playing in the U.S. Open this week.
I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that in happy hour because I'm talking about qualifying. Qualifying. You're talking about
qualifying. Like, do they believe the stuff that they're actually saying? That's my bigger question.
They do. All right. Well,
just really quick. Scott from Desert Fox says that he misses Paulina more than DJ.
That's I mean,
ain't mad at him for that.
So, but with that, I mean, what we're saying with this is it seems like it's slowly moving along, and I think that's kind of a strategic play of where they're doing this. So we don't know what's coming, but we hope it helps bring the game back to the greatness that it was. Let's make golf great again. I had to say it. I'm sorry. All right, let's go into happy hour.
I want to be here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Pinehurst. That's all I'm saying. I love the Open. I love the U.S. Open, and I love Pinehurst. This is.
I do want. And I'm with you. I do want to give a shout out to a couple people. Obviously, Flopshot Golf Apparel's following and commenting tonight. What's up, guys? We had My Bad Golf started following us tonight and are watching. So what's going on, guys? Talatag just joined, and Dalton, who we had on the show a few weeks ago, joined, and of course Scott, and then Bradley. What's going on? Talatag, what? Yeah. So no, I mean it's. I just want to give a couple shout outs to people that are watching us tonight. So what's up, everybody? We appreciate it.
Cheers.
14 stimp today. What do we think? Borderline unplayable.
I'm going right into this, Steve. I love the U.S. Open. I love how hard the USGA makes these courses. This is a true championship test of golf. I love that only 5 times has the winner been in double digits under par in the history of the U.S. Open. I love that this course, because it's going to be dry this week, it's not going to be wet, could have a great Open. Like, this is, I think, the epitome of golf. I love the qualifying for it. I love everything about the U.S. Open.
Did you
everything.
Did you know that this is the 1000th USGA event?
No, I did not know that. That's awesome.
In the history of I was listening to I'll give a shout out to Michael Breed. Listen to him in the morning usually. I was listening to Michael Breed on my way to work on Monday, and he was saying that this is the 1000th USGA event. So kudos to the USGA. Let's tip our hat to them again at a great facility at Pinehurst. You and I have both been there, and okay, Brad, say it, drink. I haven't played number 2. You play.
I've played number 2.
Number 2. Yeah, I've played 4. I haven't played 2. My second favorite golf course I've ever played is about 30 minutes from there in Tobacco Road. But you know, I think that the even par will be a miracle if they keep it this fast. Is what Desert Fox says.
I love it.
Zero landing zones can do it at Pinehurst. Aaron Hills 2.0, they'll lose the golf course.
No. So I'm going to go into I've played this course, and this is an amazing track. Donald Ross and his turtleback greens, like this is going to be chipping and putting at its finest. Like this is where you're going to have to win. Like long off the tee is going to help you, but it's not going to be the factor this week. Furs and Gers, that is going to be.
Here's the problem with Pine. Like somebody posted a video, and I think it was the PGA Tour posted it, so I didn't want to rip it and show it as Smack of the Week. Somebody dropped a ball like 10 feet onto the green.
They do it, yeah.
And it wasn't the in the
grass where you drop it
into the grass and it disappears. Yeah, no. It dropped off the green and rolled. He literally just dropped it straight down. You could see it drop it straight down, and it rolled all the way down into a bunker from 10 feet on the green.
I credit the caddy I had at number 2, and what he taught me about playing on that golf course. I played with my dad, so golfing dads, this is great. My dad and I played out there. We played it for Mother's Day one year out there, funny enough. But what I learned at that golf course was Texas toe wedge is an amazing thing, especially at Pinehurst. Your chipping has to be very accurate because of what you just said. It'll hit up there and roll right back off. And the sand game is what I learned from him. Like getting out of those bunkers, you learn how to play out of sand at that course. Like if you're going to learn to play out of sand, do it at Pinehurst. Like
you have to, though. I mean, yeah. And I think that the golf course itself, I'm going to assume, obviously, this being the 25th year of Payne Stewart's victory, Sunday the flag will be in that position on Sunday, which they typically put it there on Sundays anyway. If you're ever there on a Sunday, they typically will put that flag back in Payne's position from 99. And I'm going to assume that they're going to use that same spot on Sunday. The golf course is so good. And you and I had this conversation. I don't think we had this conversation on here. I think we had it over the phone one day. We were talking about golf course bars.
Oh, the Deuce.
The Deuce is, and I want to be honest with you. Right. But Deuce is incredible. One of my other favorite ones was at the Carolina. It was the Ryder Cup Lounge. When you walk into the Carolina, it's right on the right. They've redone it, and I haven't been since they've redone it. I'm a little nervous because they made it very contemporary.
Here's the thing. Sitting outside on the Deuce, sitting on the patio at the Pinehurst Clubhouse is one of the greatest things to do because you're right there on 18. If you've looked at the grandstands, how they have them set up there, you can still sit back there because underneath is the caddy barn where you get your clubs to go out onto this course, and you just cheer people on as they're hitting into 18 when you're out there playing. This course is historic. This course is special.
Yep.
I love when the U.S. Open is here more than at Pebble, more than anywhere else. Like,
right. Scott, by the way, said, of course, I've putted into a bunker. It's all about getting into the landing area on the green. And then he said the outside patio is epic.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the inside patios. The inside patio is just as good if you're sitting at the bar and they've got the window open. They got that. That big window that almost.
I've had lunch on the patio out there. Like they have a great buffet lunch you can get before you go out for your round. It's unbelievable. If you want to experience the best golfing trip, go to Pinehurst, North Carolina, because not just at Pinehurst, now they have 10 courses. They've added one since I was there a few years ago, and they also have there's other courses in that area that are just as great. So you
Pine
can
Needles,
so
tobacco.
Like if you're gonna go play at tobacco too.
Tobacco,
and number 3, to be honest, number 3 was one of the most fun courses I've ever had. It's shorter, much shorter. So you can drive a lot of greens. There's a lot of different par 3s there. But number 3, the Cradle this course is amazing.
So I heard something today, by the way. They're not using the driving range.
No, they're using a different driving range.
They're using the cradle. They're hitting balls onto the cradle.
Yeah, so they're using
the cradle's
what
the
I
driving
think
range.
was the driving range at one point before they built the cradle. The driving range there is great, but it gives them more space over there. They're also using the caddy barn. That's how the players will get up to the tee box on number 1, or on the first tee on number 2. So it's a great facility. They also moved Payne's statue, which I get because of the grandstand, but it would have been awesome to have that in the background there. But they moved its statue there. The other great thing that they did this week is they gave someone a locker this week that was supposed to be playing.
They did. Kudos to the USGA for that.
Yeah, that was a class move for that I think was just a big gesture that someone who qualified and is not going to be there. So kudos to Pinehurst.
Giving a locker to Grayson. Awesome. No, and I'm also going to give kudos to the Pinehurst Resorts social media account on X. I sent it to you guys last night. I said to my dad,
will not be on property.
There's a certain officer that will not be on property this week at Pinehurst. Officer Gillis is not getting the assignment in Pinehurst. And I literally was like, "Oh, Pinehurst has jokes and they're great today."
So a buddy of mine who lives in Pinehurst, he has a player living or staying at a house down the road from him, and I said, "Just make sure if it's Scottie that he doesn't get arrested on your street."
Right.
So
That's
the thing. But this is the U.S. Open. It's our Open.
Did you see
an amazing
practice round pictures from today? And there's only one group that mattered today.
I've seen practice round pictures from every day, thanks to Eric. So,
yeah, thanks, Eric. I wish Eric had my phone number to send me those. Eric, I'm jealous. The practice round group of the day was Max Homa, Minwoo Lee, and Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I want to know the conversation between Minwoo Lee, which, by the way, did you see he put it on TikTok? He had an encounter with a fox squirrel and didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, and here's the thing, if you don't know, fox squirrels are just, they're basically black squirrels. And they can be black and brown and kind of spotted and things like that. But when you look at them, they kind of look like, some people call them monkey squirrels. Like I've heard different names for them and stuff like that. But yeah, if you've never seen one, look it up. It's very interesting. But
Minwoo Lee's interaction with the fox squirrel might be my favorite. And if you're ever on a golf course that has them, like here in Orlando, Rio Pinar has them, just watch out for your crackers because they will jump into your cart and take your crackers or peanuts or anything else. They are not afraid.
They're fearless.
Fearless.
So I want to talk about, we talked about this a little bit with Liv, about these Liv players complaining about not getting in and doing these different things. But this is what I love about the U.S. Open is you can qualify. You can qualify for the Open. You play the longest day in golf. And are you laughing at your score from trying to qualify?
No, I'm not. I'm laughing at Scott's comment. Desert Fox Golf said, "Beware of any animal with fox in their name."
Oh, there you go. That's true.
That's
true. He should change to Squirrel Fox Golf. That'd be we can make a competing Fox Squirrel Golf. But we talked about this before, and if you're complaining that you should have gotten into this, you could have qualified. That's the thing that makes this so great.
Taylor Gooch was asked, "Are you trying to qualify? Are you going to go to qualifying?"
Didn't try.
Carlos
Ortiz didn't make it.
No,
didn't qualify. He tried, didn't make it. So don't tell me that. Just because I won on Live and played there, that does not earn you a spot.
No,
you're on a different tour.
Doesn't earn you a spot.
You're not playing 4 rounds. You're playing 3. So I get that. I get why that doesn't earn you a spot.
Team golf.
Captain America, he didn't make it. Like you talk about all these Live players that, they're the best in the world. They're this and so forth and so forth. The ones, to be honest, that made it already had exemptions from winning majors before.
Correct.
So they didn't need to qualify, and they haven't really shown up in the majors, to be honest with you, exception to Shambo.
Brooks won a major
Koepka,
last year.
and Brooks won a major.
Brooks
won the major. Yeah, so like those are the exceptions to it. Those two, and they are some of the best golfers in the world.
Now I will say they've some of them have, as past champions at Augusta, have shown out. But I also have said it on here. How many times has a past champion at Augusta finished on the leaderboard in their 60s? Jack and Freddie, just to name a few. Like I don't feel like you can't sit there and run your mouth and be like, oh, well, we deserve it. I'm the best player in the world because I've won once and I didn't have a top 10 finish at all before this on the Live Tour. Not feeling you. Now, I will say this. Kudos to the USGA to say there needs to be a way for Live players to get there.
Yeah, but there is.
And
qualify.
figure out a way. I mean.
No, here's the thing. You're not playing the same type of event over there. You're playing in a team / this. So I don't think that gets you into this. I think that, to be honest, if I was Taylor Gooch and I've been talking all this crap about being in majors and being on Live and all this, you know what? You should have went and qualified and proven yourself out here because you didn't prove yourself in an exemption in the PGA.
No. I mean,
so you had a second chance and you didn't take it.
Yeah. And again, it's an open for a reason. You have a chance to get there. Figure it out.
Yeah. We had the Salisbury coach on here.
Dalton's commenting right now. He tried. Yeah, I've tried.
Exactly.
I may have shot 93 and no carded. It happens.
But that's what it is. I mean, that's Joel Damon and Zach Johnson. They both went through qualifying and didn't make it. Kuchar won his qualifying and made it. So this is how you get into this event. Like, you play the longest day in golf. You go out there. That's what makes this event so special. Is that 5 times in the history of this event, I mean, it hasn't happened since 1933, but 5 amateurs have won it. 1 amateur has won it 4 times, and we all know who he is.
Right.
So that's what makes this event special. You have all these different things. Like Joel Damon had a great round. Eric Barnes, who we've talked about on the show before, who's from here in Indiana, had a great round at Brookline, and he qualified for it as well. Like, it makes these storylines so much better. The U.S. Open that's why I say this is my favorite major. I love the Masters. I love everything else, but this is my favorite major.
Here's my question. I'm going to throw it out there to you. PGA gives you a lifetime membership, as does Augusta up until the point of 65, I believe. Mm-hmm. And does the British Open. Should the USGA give you a lifetime exemption until a certain age?
No. And here's why. Because I agree with the PGA, I agree with Augusta, but I believe this and the Open, the British Open, as some call it, but the Open Championship, I believe those 2 events, because they are open, you should get an exemption for a certain amount of years. I believe what's like 5 years you get.
Daly's still no. Daly's still exempt into the British Open because he's a past champion.
Okay. So I think that, but I also think there's a limit in the British Open, but I think Daly has gotten some. It's when you can play. It's not like consecutive years. I think it's how many times you play for that one. But I could be wrong, but I like that you get so many exemptions and then you have to qualify again. I agree with that. Like, because if you're not doing that, because I'm going to use Lucas Glover as an example, and I know he's going to hate this, but I think that he missed the cut last year as a former champion, winning at Bethpage, missed through qualifying by a putt last year, and then look how that drove him to be better at the end of the year last year. Like, that's what this thing does. That's what the USGA has right here. You earn your spot here. This is what it's about in golf. Like, you play your best and you earn your way on. When you win it, you get an exemption for a few years, but then earn it back.
Dalton commented, can we talk about Shane Lowry being 9 under at the Rockville sectional, Rockville, Maryland, home of OAR, and blowing up on the back 9 and not making it? Sounds like his Sunday round this past week at Memorial too is 85 that he shot on Sunday at Memorial. That's what makes that day so hard. You'd be 9 under at one point and not get in. Like, and people, like, if you've ever done a pre-qual or a Monday qualifier, you understand how hard this is. If you can't shoot, I looked at a Corn Ferry qualifier. There was a Corn Ferry qualifier I looked at to get in on a Corn Ferry event on a Monday. 63 didn't get in.
Yeah.
Like, think about how good you have to be to get through these qualifiers. The longest day in golf is 36 holes all at once. Let's go. Tee it up, lace them up, peg it in the ground, and let's go. It's the longest day in golf for a reason. And if you get through it, you deserve your shot at the US
It makes
Open.
it that much better. That's the thing. That's why I love this event for that reason.
Correct.
Like, I look at this as anyone has a chance because it is an open event. I look at the greatest game ever played with Francis Ouimet and the story that's behind that. Like, it inspires me to play golf. It inspires me, like, I'm never going to play here. I mean, but I'm going to try my best to shoot my best out there because you know what? You never know. But this is why I love this game is the US Open. I think this is the greatest event on tour. I think it's the greatest event because it doesn't have to be players. I look at the Masters as what the name is.
High school
They're the masters
physics,
of the game.
A high school physics teacher qualified for the US Open. Like, think about that. Think about your teacher just qualified for the US Open.
15-year-old qualified.
Right. Like,
so the physics teacher and a student both qualified together. But that's what makes this so special. And that they make it so tough. Like, people complain. I was listening to my local radio station, sports radio, here on the way into work today. And they were talking about, like, I love when the players complain that it's too tough, that this is hard. I love watching every year somebody go out and go, I'm going to drop a golf ball into the rough and it's going to disappear. Because that's fun. I don't want to play that course all the time, but one time a year to find the Open champion, the US Open champion, I want it to be that tough. I don't want it to be stupid, like, in a bad, like, crazy way, but make the course tough. I want these greens to be running as fast as possible, especially because I know the greens at Pinehurst, and these turtlebacks are ridiculous. But it's going to make this so much more exciting coming down the stretch because you're not going to have these easy putts for par. You're going to have these putts that, okay, if I make par, I'm going to stay in this. If I make bogey, I'm going to have to fight my way back. And that's what's going to make this fun.
Right. Yep. No, I agree.
And who wants 100%. To see Phil Mickelson come in second again?
I'm not raising my hand.
Come on! For a seventh time.
No.
I didn't want him to win. I want him to get second again.
Again, the year he won the PGA in 2021, his best finish in a regular tour event that year was T17 in a limited field. I'll leave it at that.
The oldest champ at a U.S. Open is Hale Irwin in 1990. He was 45. And the youngest is John McDermott in 1911. So at 19. And he won it in 12 too. So he won it back-to-back. This course is a great course out there. The fourth hole has been one of the longest holes in U.S. Open history. It's a par
That's the par 5 that's...
It's par 4 that goes 542 yards. The next par 5 is 580 yards. So it's only a 40-yard difference between a par 4 and a par 5.
You know what I think we need to do? I'm gonna suggest this. I'm gonna suggest two options here.
Okay.
And Dave's not with us now. We're gonna have virtual Dave here in a minute talking about odds.
Yep.
I feel like we need to do, like, mic us up, and we need to go play the Golfing Dads Tavern needs to go play number 2.
Yep.
Or we need to, you and I get to caddy for Dave out there.
No, I think I like this option. I like where you're going with this. I think we need to go play number 2 from the tips, which would be hard for us, especially at this age. But and then we also need to go caddy for Dave out at Tobacco and not give him any advice. Like, just see what his reactions are.
Scott from Desert Fox just said you need a fourth. Me.
Yeah, there we go.
So, there we go.
I know my buddy Eric, my buddy Doug out there would be happy.
I just feel like, oh boy, who's your money on?
We'll make that. I like this. How about I caddy for Dave, you caddy for Brad, and we see what happens.
I like it. Desert Fox just called shotgun, by the way.
Okay. Well, let's get off this. Let's close up about the Open. About the US Open. I think this is going to be a great event. I love that it's at Pinehurst because it's one of my favorite courses, and it's my favorite major. So,
yep.
That's what we got to say about that. I think it's with that. You ready for last call?
Yeah.
Ready for smack?
Smack. Let's do smack.
Let's do smack. All right, let's do smack.
Let's do smack. You know what? I was thinking, you know what I think we need? I'm going to send an email tomorrow to our guys at Bridgestone. We need some Bridgestone hats with on the front, it just has the Mindset logo.
Oh, that would be awesome. Are you looking at my hat and that's what made you think of this?
Well, that and the logo. As I was watching the intro, I was like, we need some Mindset, like just the Mindset logo on the front of the hat. Mindset hat. So, we gotta work on it. So this week's Smack of the Week. This is somebody that was grinding, trying to get into that longest day in golf. You got to watch what you do.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So here's the thing. I do not blame the kid that hit him because look where this TikToker was standing. Like, he is filming himself and he is ahead of the designated driving range area.
Correct.
Like, the kid did shank it. I'm going to say the word and hit him, but also he didn't hit it that hard. Yes. Let's be honest.
No.
But his reaction is like being so sorry, genuine. Kudos to that guy for apologizing.
If he hit it hard there, like, man down. Like, if he flushed that one, man down. Like, let's go. I'm out. 1, 2, 3.
And I give credit. If you watch the longer version of that, he does say it's his fault. Like, he shouldn't have been standing there. Like, he does say that in the longer version of that. But yeah, you got to watch out on the range. You know, you want Tin Cup's caddy there, Romeo. Being like,
you're hitting chili peppers up Lee Jansen's ass. You're hitting chili peppers up Lee Jansen's ass.
Literally what happened there. Yeah. All right. Last call. Steve, I'm going to ask you a question here before we get into like this because, and this is going to get semi-political here. Did you hear the news that Donald Trump's courses in New Jersey could lose their liquor license?
Is it because he's now a convicted felon?
Yes. It is against the law for a convicted felon to have a liquor license in New Jersey. So
I would have expected, and I'm going to say this, I would have expected those courses to be under an LLC, not under his name, other than he is the figurehead of the LLC. So surprising. Just going to say that.
If you know the guy, I mean, that's not surprising at all. Come on. He's an egotistical maniac.
Right.
But how pissed would you be if you're a member there and now you can't get a transfusion at your home course?
Listen, let's just say this. If you can't get a transfusion at the golf course, why are you playing there?
That's all I'm saying. Can't get a good bottle of whiskey now. So, I mean, does that lose all of your luster for that? Like, as a member, you kind of pissed off at that point that you can't get liquor at your home course?
I'm not even going to go down that road because it's going to turn into a political conversation. We don't have those on this show. So
I was hoping you were going to go into that. You're going to just sneak the beer in your bag at a private course because that would be hilarious.
I mean, if you don't have a liquor license, I mean, you can bring beer. Like, they can tell you to bring your own alcohol. Like, you can bring the bottle.
The reason you can't bring your own alcohol is the liquor license. So
your license.
That's
right.
True.
So
now it's BYOB.
Now it's BYOB.
Sorry, I just thought that was funny, so I had to bring that one up.
Are they handing out Toby Keith Red Solo cups too at the turn? Like,
oh, there you go. Oh man. Oh, we could rebrand this for the Trump national courses. Oh, this would be great. The golfing dad, we hand out golfing dad's red cups that say "Make golf great again" at Trump courses. Come on, think about that. That's marketing at its best, right there.
That is. Let's go Memorial first before we get into Virtual Dave.
I heard some no-name won at Memorial. Some new golfer. He had
hey,
a convicted felon might have.
Hey, Desert Fox just said Swing Aid has a real future now.
There you go.
There we go.
I like that. So I heard another person who was arrested.
What is this?
Oh, it's good to know.
Shank and Duff. There may be is there a merchandise order getting put in?
I got a lot of people that
I'm just
I
saying
know are going to be out there. So
Duff,
I mean, I'm already wearing Pinehurst swag, so it's got the twos underneath the brim.
Duff, you make it
sewn in.
Duff, you and Shank might get a text message here later when I hang up this call.
They are not your personal shoppers. You realize this? They don't go to every major for you just to buy you swag. Shank and Duff, you need to charge a 20% service fee. That's all I'm saying. Whatever he buys, 20% of that bill on top of that goes to you guys. Sorry, Steve.
Okay.
Helping out Shank and Duff here.
So, did you know that no player in the history of the PGA Tour has won Bay Hill, the Masters, the Players, Harbor Town, and Memorial ever?
Yeah, because Tiger
never won all of them.
Harbor Town.
Right.
He only played it once.
Scottie did it all this year.
I know. That's even better. Like, he did it all in the same year.
He did it all in the same year.
Let me ask you this question. So let's go on this hypothetical. Scottie, let's say, wins this week at the U.S. Open, and then he goes over across the pond and he wins the Open Championship. How pissed is everyone going to be at the Louisville Police Department?
The Louisville Police Department might as well just like their chief of police and everybody that works there, because, and let's be real, we were talking about this on the golf course the other day. Every time they release a new video, they look worse.
It's not getting better.
It doesn't get any better.
And Scottie looks better. Scottie looks better though every time. It looks like, he's
like, we're gonna release this.
Like, oh my God, if I was Scottie's publicist, I would just be like, I don't have to do anything. This guy is just like the greatest guy.
Like, they gave breathalyzer test. What did they think he was on the Tavern podcast the night before, drinking all night? Like, what the hell? It's Scottie.
And he said the best part is he goes, "Yes, I'll do it." Like he didn't disagree to anything.
Even my dad was like, he should have refused. He should have literally looked at him and been like, "No, are you kidding me?"
No. Scottie handled this beautifully.
Beautifully, yeah. Like I'm sorry, but like again, the Louisville PD looks like they need to stop. I don't care what other video they have. The last thing they need to do is release another freaking video.
The only Louisville PD police officer, the one who's actually taking Scottie into the car, takes him into being booked in the police station. That officer was fantastic. Like, he was nice to him. He didn't know who he was. Of course, he asked about Tiger Woods. Like, is Tiger Woods, like, everybody who ever plays on tour gets that question. Like, is Tiger really as good as everyone says he is? And Scottie's like, well, I'm the new Tiger Woods. Like, at that point, like, he's trying not to say it, and they're realizing it, but like that officer, I give credits to. I give credit to that officer because he handled it professionally. And so we make fun of the Louisville Police Department, but to be honest, stop releasing stuff because it's not helping you.
It's not helping you. No. If Scottie wins this week and then wins the Open, Tiger had the Tiger Slam. What are we calling this? If Scottie wins 3 of the 4 majors this year, and the only reason he didn't was because he got arrested and spent an hour in jail.
The Prison Slam.
I'm down. I'm good for it.
So
there we go.
All right, let's get into odds with Dave here, and let's have some fun.
I still love our Spy Hunter music. And for those of you that aren't golfing dads and don't have any
is.
kids and don't know what Spy Hunter is, just go look it up. You'll understand. All right, let's go. Odds with Dave.
Greetings to everybody out there in the tavern. Virtual Dave coming here to you once again for Virtual Odds with Dave. Sorry I can't be there at the show again this week. I know everybody's severely disappointed that, you don't get this, and, the comments about Steve. But, hey, that's all right. They're all being saved up here. There's not a whole lot else up there. So, there's a lot of room for things to float around in there and see what happens. So, let's get into the U.S. Open odds here. I know I'm not going to make a pick right now here in Virtual Dave status. I know there's a duck race either coming up or it's already happened, so we'll just have to wait and see. And Greg and Steve have my picks, and we'll see what happens. No, Brad, I am not taking Ricky Fowler. So, surprise, surprise, Scottie Scheffler is leading the pack here at 4.5 to 1. Rory at 9 to 1. Xander Schauffele at 12 to 1. They are still listing John Rahm in the odds, so we'll have.
Hey, really quick, I needed to pause this because Scott said that Virtual Dave is far more articulate than real Dave.
That's actually true. He
that is true.
He thinks this through and does a good job with it. I mean, we might need to try Virtual Steve next, and then we'll just do all virtual stuff.
Have to see if that changes anything throughout the course of the week here. If that's going to adjust the odds in anybody's favor or not. So
I'd also like to point out that we can just pause Dave at any time during this and talk about it. So it's very fun.
We're going to throw Rahm out right now, and we'll have to see if any of the odds get adjusted. Ludwig at 16. Brooks coming in from Liv at 16. Victor Hovland at 20. And Victor Hovland at 18, and Bryson at 20 to 1. Colin Morikawa at 22, Patrick Cantley at 25, JT at 28. The surprise in this list, and he keeps getting odds in his favor, is Max Homa at 30. I still think those are high odds for Max Homa, but always worth a flyer. Wyndham Clark, Will Zalatoris, Joaquin Niemann, and Cam Smith at 35 to 1. Tommy Fleetwood, Jordan Spieth, and Cam Young at 40. So there's about your top 15, 20 players right there. It'll be interesting to see if the lines here move any with John Rahm pulling out. He was the highest ranked live player for the odds. So there you have it. And hopefully I'll be back here soon, and I'll save the nuggets of knowledge for later on. So back to you, Steve and Greg, and cheers, everyone. Have a great night.
Did he really just say nuggets of knowledge?
He did, and I'm going to agree with Brad. You see what I just put up here, by the way, for Brad.
Yeah, I see. The fans, you got to love Dave. So give Dave some credit.
Hey,
all right.
My buddy John, the Grand Slammer.
Oh, I like that one. That's a good.
I like
Grand
that
Slammer.
One. The Louisville Slam. I'm going to go out and call it. Do we call it the Louisville Slugger?
Ooh. We got to maybe this is a poll we have on Instagram in the coming week. Or maybe after the Open if he does do that. So he's got to win this week too to make this.
What are we calling it? So all right, let's go to the duck race.
You since you won last week, give me a number between 1 and 10 to shuffle up and deal here. And I will I'll shuffle up the duck race.
My favorite number and Dave's favorite number are the same, so we're gonna go with 8.
I'm gonna go with 8. All right.
Yep.
All right, so here we go. Let's shuffle characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. We got our duck race. Oh, you got a freaking Viking helmet on. I don't like that. All right, here we go. 30 seconds.
Let's go Vikings.
Master for our and Steve's off to you're off to a good start. That's not usually a bad start.
That's not
Dave is staying back there. I have a feeling this could be a Dave win for this.
No,
I don't know why it's freezing up on us here. I think we got a Dave win here. Dave's going to run away with this. Oh, I'm making a comeback. Scottie. Yes.
I feel like we need to make an addendum to this that if you win the week before major with a duck race, you get 2 entries in the duck race.
We can do that for the last major or maybe next year.
Okay. Just a thought.
I just want you to listen to my duck here. So there we go.
I'm done with your duck.
But you got the third pick. So Dave's taking Xander, obviously.
Yep. I don't like Xander this week at all, which is fine.
I don't either.
Dave,
so I'm actually.
Dave, have fun with that pick. Oh. Wow.
Someone's not bitter. If I still had the video on here, I would play that I am the champion of fantasy football. I'd like to point that out. So
I'm gonna
Bradley
go.
was the NCAA champion. So
yes. So like I kind of like
just
the
pick
idea.
John Rahm.
No. I kind of like the idea of Ludwig this week, but he hasn't played well since Augusta and got hurt in between here and there.
He played well last week until the weekend.
Correct. He hasn't played well overall. I'm going to do something that's probably going to surprise a lot of people.
You picking Ricky?
Bryson
DeChambeau. I like the pick.
I'm going to take Bryson.
My backup was
as much as
Morikawa.
It's as painful it is for me to say the name and to pick somebody to win this week. I feel like he's got the best chances. So, okay.
So you're locking that in.
Yeah, I'll lock Bryson in.
Okay, good. Because I don't think he has a chance this week because this is not a long ball hitter's course. But
I also feel like that he could hit 2 iron off every tee.
That's true.
Listen, hey John,
Not
you missed
secret.
it. We've had the conversation. We still think that's the best logo in golf. It's like a minor league baseball logo. It's cool.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
and,
I like the logo.
Desert Fox doesn't like it, so or as I'm now going to call them, Squirrel Fox.
Right.
Scott, we know we're buddies. But it's I think that's a good pick. I do. So
Scott said I'm wearing it with matching underwear.
Okay, now we've just gotten disturbing people.
Thanks,
All
Scott.
Right. So with that, I'm gonna say cheers to the US Open.
Yes.
What a fun week it's gonna be. Happy Father's Day to
Happy Father's
all the
Day,
dads
yes.
out there. Happy Father's Day to my dad.
Happy Father's Day to my dad.
Yep.
I'm actually playing golf with my dad on Saturday in a tournament and a 2-man scramble, so that'll be a good time as long as Mother Nature cooperates here in Central Florida this week. So
I'll be in South Carolina in a few weeks playing golf with my dad too. So happy about that. You'll be jealous because we're only playing the die course.
Wow. All right.
With that, have a good night, everybody.
I'm really fortunate, man. I mean, having the opportunity to build something that's
viral on our TikTok. That somebody was commenting about